After that damning report about the toxic culture within the party, that internal report saying there was a culture of harassment, bullying and misogyny. Shortly after that report came out, in the middle of last week, Adam Price said he would not quit. Of course, there's been pressure growing for him to go. And we should say he's not had the most successful 5 years or so as leader. No big breakthroughs for his party. He remained the third party here with 12 members of the Senedd. Of course, it matters for Plaid because of the general election next year, but also potentially for Welsh Labour. They have 30 of the 60 seats here. They've got no majority, and therefore they rely on this agreement with Plaid to get some more controversial legislation through. That therefore has an impact on what happens to Mark Drakeford, the First Minister of Wales. I caught up with him earlier.
Do you think
I'm not going to.
Do you think it's time for Mr. Price to resign?
That's not what I'm here for this afternoon. I'm meeting a group of children who are in care, and I'm not prepared to keep them waiting.
But you must be worried about what the report has said about the culture within all of Wales'
I think
parties.
I've explained that that's not my priority at this moment.
Is it time for him to go?
I've given you the only answer.
We're joined now live by the leader of one of the other parties in the Senedd, RT Davies, the leader of the Welsh Conservatives. What do you make of Adam Price and Plaid's position? Do you think it's time for him to go?
Well, far from me to comment. I'm a leader of another political party here and leader of the opposition. But what's important is that we do get clarity, because you alluded in your introduction about the cooperation agreement, which is a formal agreement with the Welsh Labour Party, who are in government here to deliver a programme for government. And there does need to be clarity around that. But obviously the report that was delivered to Plaid last week, written by one of their former policy directors, Nerys Evans, her name is, was quite damning and obviously had some really uncomfortable reading for anyone who thinks Plaid deserve to be in a better place.
Now, we've been trying to speak to Plaid politicians here in Cardiff today. They've not wanted to speak on camera, but of course you've been in the Senedd. What are they privately saying about the future of Adam Price?
Well, they've obviously got this meeting this evening which could pull any number of levers to actually put an interim leader in place or continue to back the current leader. But what, as I said, from my position as Conservative leader and leader of the opposition, is required in the interest of Wales and the people of Wales is clarity and certainty, because obviously there's this cooperation agreement, which is a formal agreement with the Welsh Labour government here.
And do you think Mark Drakeford should end that agreement?
Well, I think it's been strongly hinted by some of his backbenchers. Ken Skates, for example, as a former economy minister, some 10 years standing in the previous Welsh government, has alluded to the fact that they could be tarnished by some of the allegations within the report that was delivered to Plaid last week. And so really they do have to decide whether they want to stay in the same bed as Plaid, given obviously that members in Plaid have identified this as corporate bullying, corporate misogyny and corporate sexism, as the report identified.